Welcome to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 135. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
And today we're going to talk about, listen. Do you hear that?
It's kind of ironic that we're talking about listening.
Isn't it? You're listening, but are you really? Or after the break?
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections Podcast with Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
Hi, welcome back to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 135. Today we're talking about listening. That is chapter 9 of Creating Connections.
There's your visual.
Thanks. What, you don't think I have a copy here too?
No, I figured you did. I was just holding it up because you were still talking.
Chapter 9 talks about listening, and for me, it's something that I think we all can become better at.
Yes.
I don't think we do that enough. Even when, Vicki and I have gone back and actually critiqued some of my past sales presentations, I go back and pull out areas where I can improve.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back and look and say, you missed that. When the bride said something that is definitely applicable. And
You're saying that to yourself, you mean?
Yeah. Should have caused me to ask another question and go a different direction with the conversation.
Well, especially in the sales context, let's just jump right into that because that's what this is about, is connecting with clients. And we've got so many things on our mind.
Yeah.
Am I doing a good job conveying my value? Am I telling the right story? Am I talking too much? Am I doing this? How are they going to respond when I get to how much it's going to cost? And how do I want to present my price? And how am I going to phrase this? Shut up. Shut your mind up and listen.
If you shut your mind up from wanting to respond and jump in, and you almost like you're taking a step back outside of the conversation and seeing how you can help them, it's a way better approach. And when you take that step back and observe outside of the conversation that's happening, I'm talking about mentally here, but it may allow you, while you're mentally doing that, to physically see other things. You're listening with your eyes as much as you are with your ears.
Yeah.
Is she grasping?
And your heart.
Yes.
And listening with your heart. What are they saying? How can you want to connect at an emotional level? Open up your emotions and really hear what they're feeling when they're describing things.
It's so important that we listen. Sometimes you never know what someone else is dealing with. But
most of the time,
if you allow yourself to be fully present with what's happening, you will hear more, you will gain more, and you'll glean more knowledge of how you can serve them better. So think about all the different senses and ways you can listen. Go back through and listen with your eyes. We talk about search as part of the first step of the process. of Sales for Event Pros. What'd you tell me before we started?
That I was going to bring up where listen fits into this, but it's so tied in. But no, I was thinking about one of the people who I know who is so good at this. Mm-hmm. I tell you, if you ever have a chance to sit across the table and share a meal with Jason Jones, he is amazing at this. I'm sure it's no coincidence that he teaches a workshop on listening, but he gets it. And you talk about someone that really makes you feel heard and respected and valued. And, I am honored to call him my friend and to have been able to share those moments with him. But if you can learn to do that for your clients, and just by listening, you can make the person sitting across the table from you feel honored, respected, valued, treasured, loved. Mm-hmm. That is how connections are created. Mm-hmm. That is how relationships begin. And let's be honest, that is how sales are made.
Absolutely.
And there are some personality types. I honestly think greens and blues have an edge in this area of listening. It comes a little more naturally to them. They maybe have less training and discipline and practice to be able to do it really well. Whereas yellows and reds, this is so hard for us. Mm-hmm. Because the voices in our heads never shut up and it's hard to listen. But that's not meant to be used as an excuse. That is, and I'll take myself first, me as an example, saying, I am a yellow red. I struggle with this. So this is not my past to say, oh, well, I'm a yellow red. I'm better at talking than I am listening. I don't have to learn to be a good listener. I get to just talk. That's not how this is. This is me saying, I'm a yellow red. This is one of my weaknesses. This is hard for me. I need to work at this twice as hard. I need to spend more time with people like Jason, listening to what he has to say and trying to take his advice and put it into practice. And I did want to bring up, which I think is a really funny coincidence, there is a whole chapter on listening in Sales for Event Pros because it's part of the process. And when I went to look it up in preparation for this episode, I realized it's chapter 9, same as Creating Connections episode or chapter on
totally
listening. So I thought that was just funny. But in there, and this is one of the things I love about the Sales for Event Pros books, especially in the revised and expanded edition, the new one that came out, we have a whole little my story from Jason Jones. So if you're not familiar with him, no matter what niche you are in the event industry, pick up your copy of Sales for Event Pros and read those my stories, because Mitch has done a really good job of looking to various experts and people with personal stories that relate to the different phases of the sales process. And Jason's got some good insights in there, and he tells his story about how he went from being not a great listener to actively learning how to do that, to the point where he teaches people like me how to do that better.
Jason's a great resource. Your kids are a great resource. Your spouse is a great resource. Find a way to resist that urge, if you are that red-yellow, yellow-red combination, to jump in and blurt and talk and immediately say something. I still struggle with that daily, on the daily. But resist that urge. You'd be amazed how much you can learn when you listen. That's it for Creating Connections Podcast, episode 135. I'm Mitch Taylor.
I'm Vicki Musney.
We provide personal solutions through understanding people better. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections Podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.